the first civilians ever executed for espionage in American history. The story goes, in 1949, the Soviet Union tested its first nuclear weapon. However, this was so shocking to the US because they did not expect the Soviet Union to have the capability for this test for at least another few years. They started to look for a trail leading to evidence of a mole within the ranks of the Manhattan Project for leaked information. The trail led straight to a man named David Greenglass, a former machinist. Almost immediately, Greenglass confessed to leaking nuclear secrets to the Soviet Union through his communist brother-in-law and his own sister, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. He testified against the two of them in exchange for his own wife to go free. He said that they would get together and he would share secrets to his brother-in-law Julius, while Ethel recorded everything on a typewriter. Julius and Ethel were both sentenced to death, and this was heavily protested by many Americans that were adamant that the pair were innocent. As a last-ditch effort to save the couple from execution, lawyers approached Supreme Court Justice William Douglas and explained that they should not be executed because of a discrepancy in the laws in which they were convicted. They were convicted under the Espionage Act of 1917, and they argued that they should have been convicted under the Atomic Energy Act, which does not allow for the death penalty. Justice William Douglas orders a stay of execution. However, the Supreme Court conducted an emergency session to decide upon the matter. Their verdict was ultimately execution of the Rosenbergs, and later that same day, both Julius and Ethel are executed by electric chair. Many people were still outraged by the execution and still believed that the government made a grave mistake and that the Rosenbergs were innocent. But it wasn't until 1995, when the government finally released the information regarding to the Venona project, that they finally had concrete proof of the Rosenbergs' guilt. The government had known all along about the espionage conducted by the Rosenbergs and Greenglass. Both Greenglass and his wife were given code names within the Venona documents, Caliber and Wasp. Julius Rosenberg's code name within the Soviet Union was Liberal. However, the one person in the mix that did not have any code name was in fact Ethel Rosenberg, leaving many to believe that she really was innocent after all. The government could not divulge any of this information during the trial. Even the prosecutors at the time had no idea that this hard evidence even existed. In the end, David Greenglass's wife Ruth went free, while David himself was sentenced to 15 years in prison, serving only 9.5 years before he was released.